everybody, welcome to Christy Dawn's Kitchen, and today I'm going to bring to you a really fun recipe, and it's how to make jelly out of store-bought juice. You can use any flavor that you like. You just have to make sure there's no sugar added. This is actually something that I made in the summer, so I'm going to show you exactly how I do this. It tastes so much better than store-bought jelly, and it saves you a ton of money. And at the end, I'm actually going to break down the cost so we can compare the differences. So stay with me. So for this recipe, we need a bottle of juice, any flavor that you would like. We just have to make sure that it's a no sugar added, some pectin, sugar, and a little bit of butter. So I'm gonna get everything set up and I'll start showing you how we make the jelly. Okay, so I am all set up. So you'll see here in my heavy pot, I have 6 cups of the juice. And I'm starting to bring that up to a hard boil. In the back, I don't know if you guys can see it, touch up a little bit. You can see I have the pot going, and that has the jars in it because I want to heat up those jars so that they come up to, so they're nice and hot. So when we pour the jelly into the jars, they will not break. Remember, hot into hot, and that keeps it from breaking. So the first thing I'm going to do is I have 12 tablespoons of pectin that I've put in here, along with 1/4 cup of sugar. So what this does is the sugar kind of helps it blend better, and it won't clump up as much. So I'm gonna go ahead and mix that up. And I'm going to slowly sprinkle the pectin and the sugar over top the juice. Okay, and I want to do this slowly because I don't want it to clump. Okay, and it's good to have that you have metal utensils for this, because plastic and wood especially, you don't want to use wood when you're making this. They can contain bacteria. So you want to make sure everything is nice and sterilized when you're doing any kind of canning. Okay, so this looks good. All right, so I'm going to go ahead, I have a whisk here. I'm going to go ahead and use my whisk just to make sure that we don't have any clumps. And like I said, we're trying to bring this up to a hard boil. And a hard boil is when you stir it, the bubbles do not go down. So that's what we're looking for. A little bit. So you can see it's kind of getting cloudy, and that's what it'll do with the pectin before we add in the sugar. So no concerns here. I know it's super dark being grape juice. So any of the juices, I saw Heather at the Needy Homesteader, you know, she's my favorite YouTuber to watch for canning. She did a peach apple that I thought looked really good, and she recommends using the Juicy Juice brand because I think all of those are no sugar added. So any of those. So this is a great recipe to start if you've never canned before, because it's not a big investment. If it gets messed up, you know, it's kind of lessons learned kind of a thing, but it is pretty easy. I know you all can do it. Just follow these steps. Okay, so I'm going to continue to stir this, and when it comes to a boil, I'm going to bring you guys back, because it could take a couple of minutes, and I don't want y'all to get bored watching this. So I will be back when we get up to a boil. So we are back, and this has been cooking for maybe about 5 minutes, and I want to show you how it's just starting to boil, and I know you're starting to see some foam here, and that's okay. That's going to do that. So what we do to fix that is we add about 1 tablespoon of butter, and the butter is going to melt, and it's going to kind of like deflate that foam. So we're going to go ahead and add that. And it's just probably going to take another minute or so till we get to a full boil. And remember, a full boil or a hard boil is when you stir it, the boil does not go down. You still see bubbles popping up. So, I'm going to go ahead and get this butter melted in. My jars in the background are continuing to heat up, and I went ahead and got my canning station all set up. So I'll show that to you in a minute as soon as this is done. Okay, you can always already start to see that the foam is going away. And it may look waxy on top, have like a waxy film, and that's fine. That's just the butter. That's perfectly okay. Okay, foam is almost gone. Okay, I'm going to stop stirring. So you see it's starting to bubble. Okay. When I stir it, the bubbles go down, but we're almost there. The key to this is patience. You want to make sure that you are bringing that to a hard boil so that it activates the pectin correctly. Sometimes what happens is that we think that it's cooked full enough and it's not. Okay, I'm seeing bubbles. We're almost there. Okay, I'm happy with that. Okay, so now what we're going to do, we're going to slowly add in 6 3/4 cups of sugar. And it's a lot. So I know this is a bad shot. Sorry about that, guys. I'm right-handed, so I need to pour with my left as I'm stirring because I need to constantly stir so this doesn't clump. And it is going to clump. That's okay. That's why we have the whisk. Let's see if I can do a better shot this way. You guys can see it better, hopefully. So it's 7 cups total, but we took 1/4 cup out to add to the pectin. Okay, go ahead and add that in. Alrighty. I'm going to stir this up. Get all the clumps melted. It's a good reason to use the whisk. Okay, and then we want to bring this back to a hard boil again. Once it comes back to a hard boil, we're going to stir it constantly and for 1 minute. We're going to time it for 1 minute. And then the jelly is going to be ready for, ooh, look at that big clump. It'll be all ready for canning. It's already getting thick. Make sure I get everything melted. It doesn't take long at all. There we go. See how that foam disappeared? It's the magic of butter. But you don't want to do more than a tablespoon. Just make sure it's 1 tablespoon. Okay, let's see. How are we doing? See any bubbles yet? This does not take long at all. And this is extremely hot, so make sure that you don't, grab a spoon and want to taste it. It's like caramel. It's super, super hot right now. I mean, you would get really hurt. Speaking of hot, I do believe yes, they are. They are boiling away. So I'm going to turn those down to low. My jars are nice and hot. I'm going to continue stirring. Oh, the smell is amazing. Once you have this, you've made your own jelly from juice. It's hard to go back to buying regular jelly. Just the flavor is incredibly intense. And you'll see how easy this is. All right. This might take a couple of minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and turn off the camera, and when it is ready, I'll bring you guys back and show you exactly what it needs to look like. All right, it's been probably about 5 minutes, so I'm glad I went ahead and paused the camera for you guys. And I want you to see how it's starting to boil. Starting to see bubbles popping up. Okay, then when I stir it, it still goes back down. It's starting to a little bit, so it's probably just going to take maybe like another 30 seconds. Not quite there yet, but you just have to be patient. Make sure it sets very well for you, or else you'll have grape syrup, which is good too. But they make for messy peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I think we're almost there. Okay, I think we're there. I'm seeing more bubbles now as I stir. So I'm going to go ahead and set the timer for 1 minute. Okay, and continuously stir it. Yeah, you guys can definitely see the bubbles now, I hope. It's hard with the grape because it's so dark. All right, we're almost done. Okay. All right, I'm gonna go ahead now, shut everything off. I'm gonna go ahead and set everything up on the island for canning, and I'll bring you guys over and I'll show you exactly how I do the canning part. Okay, so I went ahead and set up my canning station. So what I have is my pots right here. Ooh, these are hot. The pot here with the grape jelly in it. I have hot jars that I just pulled out. They're very, very hot, so be careful. Went ahead and sterilized my funnel. Okay. I have my debubbler. We actually don't have to use the debubbler part today because there's nothing chunky in there. It's just a jelly. But I do have the part that shows the head space. We want to make sure that we're a quarter head space, which is that first notch there. I'll show you how I do that. I also have a glass jar that's heat proof with all of the lids and the rings in it here, along with my ladle, just keeping everything sterilized. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you how I do this. Oh, I also have on the side here is a small jar of vinegar along with a towel to clean off the rim. So what we do, we're looking for a quarter, ooh, it's hot, quarter inch of head space. Bring this over here closer so you guys can see it. So I'm gonna go ahead and start ladling in. Now this is a pint. I'm gonna go ahead and make 1 pint because my family loves this jelly. They love grape jelly, so they will go through it pretty quickly. Remember, I'm looking for a quarter inch head space. And what's so nice about this funnel is you can see it on the side. It actually marks it, the different head spaces. So let me go ahead. All right. Give that a look. See how it is. I like to have 2 so I can go ahead and move the next one over. Okay, that looks maybe a little bit too much. So I'm going to go ahead and get a spoon. Just take a tad out. And the head space is very, very important when you're doing canning. Now I need a plate. Hold on 1 second. Let me grab a plate to rest the spoons on. Anything dirty. Okay. Whew. Let's take a look at this again. A quarter. Perfect. Okay. Great. So now, in my glass jar with the, I'm going to go ahead and put my lid on. Oh, I forgot an important step. My goodness, we got to wipe it down. Okay. So as we take the vinegar, and we're going to wipe everything down. I think this was pretty clean, but I'm going to go ahead and put this back in and get another one. Line it up. I like it lined up with the writing on the front of the jar with the lid. Go ahead and put the ring on. And we want to do fingertip tight. We don't want to crank down on it really hard, just fingertip tight. And there you go. The first jar of grape jelly. So I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to continue on. I am going to film this. I know some people said they like to watch me do this. So if you don't, just go ahead and fast forward, but I'm going to go ahead and continue on. And the rest of my jars are half pints. I think this recipe calls for 8 half pints, so we should have the pint and then 1 and 6, excuse me, 6 of the half pints. Let me grab another one. I have all different size jars and designs today because I'm just kind of using like what I had, what was left over. Let's see. Let's check the measurement. Looks good. Ooh, hot. Wipe everything down. Make sure there's nothing on there because that sugar can keep it, if there's anything on the rim, can keep it from sealing. So that's why we make sure we take extra care to make sure that everything is clean. Clean, clean, clean. There's that design right there. Whoop. Gets really hot when the jam goes in there, or the jelly. There's another one. All right. I'm gonna grab another jar for my backup. already starting to gel. Let's see if you guys can see it on the, ooh, I went overboard in that one. You can see it in the funnel or on the ladle. Yeah, I definitely went too much on that one. So you can see it on the, if you guys can see it on the spoon. It's already starting to turn to jelly. That's what we want. I feel like there's still too much in here. Yes, there is. Oh, this one's going to be messy. I can see already. Much better. Okay. Oh yeah, I made a mess on this one. And don't be afraid. Make sure you change out your napkin every so often. See, there's my design. There it is on the front. And you don't have to line up your designs. That's just me being me. That's a pretty one in that round jelly jar. Yeah, I'm going to grab another one. Perfect. Let me get a new napkin. In the vinegar it goes. Make sure everything is spotlessly clean. The vinegar really helps cut the sugar, the grease. On tight. There it is. Okay. All right, there's another one. Get another jar. Perfect. Once you start doing this for a while, you'll get to know exactly what a 1/4 inch headspace is. And a 1/2 inch and an inch. You have different headspaces for different recipes, for different items that you're canning. There's number 5. It's beautiful. Did it again. Too much. It's still too much. See how it's gelling up? One more lid. Two lids that are stuck together. There we go. Okay. Huh. This one doesn't have the ball name on it. It's number 6. Definitely, I think we can definitely do 7. I don't know if we're going to have a 8th one, but we will look and see. That's probably just going to be one that goes in the fridge. Okay, yeah. I'm going to go ahead and pull that one out. Last one here. Actually, I think that could use a little bit more. That's better. Go ahead and get everything wiped up. Get the lid. The ring. There's number 7. All right, and let's see if we can get a full number 8. Let's get out of here. You know what? We might do it. I scrape everything out of the pot here and get everything out of the ladle. Might have it. In fact, we may have a little bit more. Woo, yep. So, I'm going to take a little bit. See how it's gelling up? That's perfect. last one. Alrighty. And number 8, I'm happy about that. So we actually got 9 half pints. Well, it was, 7 half pints and then a full pint. So I'm really happy with that. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go ahead and get everything in the canner. And I'm going to go ahead and make sure that they are completely submerged underwater by at least an inch. And I'm going to go ahead, once they come up to a boil, I'm going to go ahead and set the timer for 10 minutes. I'm just going to be safe and sorry. That says 5 minutes, but I just want to make sure that I've done everything that I need to do, especially with the extra messiness that I had with some of the jars. And when those are done, when the 10 minutes is up, I'm going to go ahead and just turn off the heat and take off the lid. And you don't remove the lid during that 10 minutes. You want to make sure that lid stays on the entire time. And then I will bring you back and show you what's going to happen after those 5 minutes. So, be right back. All right, so the jars were in the water bath canner for about 10 minutes, and I went ahead and turned them off. When the 10 minutes was up, I took the lid off. I just brought them over here very, very carefully. So now they're going to sit here for 5 minutes. They just have a couple more minutes left to go. So what I want to say to you is if you have never done any kind of canning before, this is the absolute perfect one to do. It does not cost much. It's a fun project. Your kids can help you with it. Like I said, just be very, very careful because you're dealing with hot sugar. So you don't want anyone to get burned. If you are interested in doing more canning, I highly recommend this book. You can get it on Amazon. I think it's about $12. I cannot remember the exact price. Anyway, this is like the official book of canning. This is the one, all of the results from the testing by the USDA. This is the one all the canning queens on YouTube go to. This is like the Bible of canning. So if you are interested in doing more canning, please get this book. It's just the one that has the correct information in it that everyone needs. It's not a real, frilly book. There are some recipes in here, but if you're looking for like a canning book that has like great recipes, you won't find it in this. But this is the one that has the absolute perfect procedures that you need to be using. So, just a couple more seconds left. So when this is done, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to set them on my mat. I have a mat here, and they're going to rest for 24 hours. And then I'm going to show you, or explain to you what I do next after that 24 hours. So, anyway, almost ready. And here we go. So I'm going to go ahead and lift them straight up. It's okay if there's water on the lids. That's just condensation. That's just going to come off the liquid. It will evaporate. So I was thrilled that I was able to get them all in here. I'm going to go ahead and put them on here by jar shape, because that's me. See how pretty they are? They're so beautiful. You don't want to tilt them too much. You get some, did you hear it ping? We heard it ping already. That means we did our job right. Oh, here's another one. They look great. Okay. Oh, there's another one. Come on. You come in. we just heard. Okay, so these are going to sit here, like I said, for 24 hours, and they're just going to rest. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take the rings off of them, give them and I'm going to check the seal. And how I check the seal is I hold it by the lid. If the lid does not come off, like this is the one I made last summer, then I know that I did my job right and that it's canned. I'm going to then put it in some hot soapy water. I'm not going to submerge it, but I'm going to go ahead and clean it really, really well with some hot soapy water, rinse it off very, very well, dry them completely, and then I'm going to label them. See, it says Grape Jelly 2020. So this is the one that I made last summer. So these will obviously say 2021. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Oh, I do want to share, I figured out the price on this. So for the juice cost me $3. The sugar cost me $3.75, around there. I do buy it in bulk from BJ's. And the pectin, that's the most expensive thing. That was about $5. And then the butter was just pennies. It was probably like a nickel for that. So total was under $12 for all of this jelly, which is, 72 ounces? Yeah, we have 9 half pints. 8 half pints and 1 pint. So that would be 72 ounces. So I think like a regular jar of jelly may be like $3.50. I don't know. I don't buy jelly because I make it myself. But anyway, you can see how easy it was. It was a fun project to do. I probably have enough grape jelly now for probably the rest of the year. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, please give me a like and subscribe. I'm real excited about some more money-saving kitchen tips that I can show you in the next couple of weeks. So stay tuned. We're actually getting real ready to kick off our freezer organization system. Really excited about that. My girlfriend Leanne's been working really, really hard on it. So we're getting that all in place. So that's a great way to save money. So hope you all enjoyed this and take good care.